Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a great day, and thank you all so much for taking the time to stop by to chat about the market. And I guess market crash is canceled. AI bubble is over. We're cooking up today, 1.4%, very aggressive, and we were cooking up to close the week out last Friday there. So two back-to-back green days. Very good start. We do have a long way to go, but you can see that we're kind of getting up to this rejection point again. So let's see what happens there. If we can clear that, that's going to be awesome. Let's take a look a little bit extended time frame here. Maybe we challenge one of these downtrends, right? Which one it will be, I don't know. Let's draw two. We'll have this first downtrend, which we could test today, and this larger downtrend, which should be in play for maybe later on in the week if they first can break and hold. Now, we did have a 15-minute reversal on Friday, and then we are kind of trying to pair that with our key level breakout, which today it looks like we're getting, right? We're having that level hold, which is really good. We can see that on the 30-minute as well. A reversal signal here over the 200. Let's see if that can really hold on, right? Not just for a little bit, but for an extended period of time, and then we'll work that out into the 1 hour, and you'll see now where things get interesting. We have that reversal, but we're just challenging the 200. Can we break through? Can we reclaim and base upon for more rather than just a breakthrough and an immediate rejection down under? Of course, this will signify to me a little bit of a relief, right? And then we can get maybe a rally into that downtrend that we're talking about. And, if that breaks, then who knows, right? But first things first, we're going to set these reversals. We're going to try to challenge the two downtrends, and then we'll move on from there. All right. Of course, we had NVIDIA earnings last week. That was pretty good, kind of signifying that the AI bubble wasn't about to pop, and Jay Powell obviously was there weeks earlier trying to tell people, he's a pretty good guy, that these companies have tangible revenue, unlike a lot of the dot-com bubble companies, right? So, of course, things are subject to change. I'm not an economist. I don't know. I'll just take it as is. But I knew something was fishy, when everybody and their mom was yelling, market crash, AI bubble. Yeah, I bet, if anything, you've struck me as being extremely well informed. The media there as a whole is not necessarily there to ensure wealth creation on your behalf, right? Anyways, enough of that. Let's move out of this. What did we trade today? ENLV, sorry. They had 200 million private placement, which was really, really aggressive. Oh, I actually have this on my bottom screen. So let's show you the news. Man, I am so dyslexic. ENLV. Here we are. And, they had another news, which I don't think is crazy good, but 200 million private placement, which is substantial in a company that's only worth 30 million, right? So that's, a big discrepancy, which is good. Private placement just hits different. It is an offering, but, it shows institutional interest, which is actually fairly important. It was priced at $1, which was an 11.5 premium to, spot price at the time, which we ripped through. So you don't really like to be buying over this dollar. However, if you have good entries, that's fine. And then I don't like the RAIN token. They're issuing a bunch of new shares to massively dilute the stock, which is, again, very bad. And then the RAIN token again, I'm not a big fan of crypto. And if you're going crypto and you're not going Ethereum or Bitcoin, it's like, what are you doing? So this is crazy. This is super suspect and nothing I'd like to be involved with long term. However, the 30-day average volume, 6 million. Current day volume already, 30 million. And so we had this news at like 5:45 or something, 4:45. no, 545 right here. This is the news bar. Holds, rejects VWAP. Then we have that reversal set, right? And then we reclaim VWAP, at which point we had a negative order block convert to a breaker block, if I can draw that. Here we go. This was our negative order block that converted into a breaker block. Or even here, if you want a more defined one, right? Which basically is, the same area. Right, so we break through, retest it. So really nice entries here for us. So we have like a couple things. Obviously, we have something with news. We have an entry model, which is our reversal key level breakout, VWAP and the 200. Then we have like a secondary entry model on top of that, strengthening our conviction with the invalidation of this, at the time, bearish order block into a bullish breaker block that holds, right? So we set our stop loss below the reversal signal, below the low of that reversal, and then scalp it up. 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1. We do not get a 5 to 1. And then eventually the trade breaks VWAP and it breaks the 200. This is where we want to exit. We don't want to be in down here. That's really bad. Specifically, you got a second chance here with that rejection of VWAP. And at this point, to exit the trade when this breaks down here. And then, we'll consolidate down. And it wasn't a good play to begin with. So we're not really looking for re-entries here. It is what it is. And then we had a bit of a loser. Can't win them all. It is what it is, right? So Gels comes out. They've got positive preclinical results demonstrating enhanced bioavailability using its proprietary gel-based drug delivering platform. Whatever that means, but it's got the news and it's got the volume, right? Then we get our reversal signal here, and then I was in it a little preemptively, unfortunately. I kind of jumped the gun on that reversal with our stop loss below the reversal, just trying to replicate what we did earlier, right? Unfortunately, VWAP can't hold, and it immediately rejects down, and we get stopped out. So it is what it is. They're not all winners. And this did attempt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 times maybe before ultimately failing the 200 and now breaking down in the afternoon. So womp, womp, womp. And then KTTA, we're just watching this, eyes on. This announced completion of its ongoing phase 1. We don't like phase 1. We like phase 2B or phase 3, preferably. However, it is a cancer situation, which is pretty decent. So we like to keep an eye on anything that's cancer, Alzheimer's, or autoimmune deficiency based, right? So yeah, this doesn't really work out. We see pop, kind of holds VWAP for another pop, but rejects, and that's kind of how these things go that are so early on in their process, the phase 1 and even 2A really, and to a further extent 2B. They're not really going to do anything substantial. They're very early on in that trial process. So of course, they do the trial, then they get FDA clearance, and it's a long journey to profitability, right? Specifically, if you're not solving a problem that hasn't been so that's why we have the cancer, the Alzheimer's, and the autoimmune diseases, because they're not cured. So if you are theoretically curing them, you'll get picked up by a bigger company, which is massive price improvement. However, if it's just a generalized thing, you need to be making profit as a company yourself, right? And a lot of these companies, they don't have a product pipeline or anything. There's no tangible revenue or income really happening at all. They're just burning cash. And because of this, then, you're going to have to dilute the stock to raise more cash. And it's just not something you want to be in. So last week, when the market was shitting itself, we seen China stocks just going crazy. And we've seen a little bit of tailwind to that today. Nothing that I really like to participate in. But CJET trying to do something this morning, right? Cannot do anything. INHD trying to do something this morning and really getting after it. What is this? 80 cents all the way up to 350. Really aggressive and getting halty here, right? We've got some gap fills that you could potentially play. But I don't want to recommend that, again, on a Chinese ticker because they can liquidate really, really aggressively. So just check them out, be familiar, and then avoid them, in my opinion. ZYXI is another that's trying this morning, not really picking up as much. And then finally, AEHL, I think, did quite well for itself from this reversal signal this morning, key level breakout, and the rest is history. So like, $1.30 all the way up to $3, really nice movement here. But, if we want to look at them in China, right? This is where this is headquartered. If we look at ZYXI, it's going to be the same thing, right? Inglewood, somehow I doubt this. If we go to the website and then go to investors, officers and directors. Okay, I'll buy it. Looking pretty white up in here. Up in here. So maybe this doesn't belong there. I had this mixed in. It was the wrong batch. My bad. I'll put that down here. But it doesn't really do anything. What are they doing? Medical devices. How did this get tossed in with my Chinese plays? Interesting. Anyways, CJET, to continue my point. This is Georgetown, Cayman Islands, but look at these names. Founded by Hong Wei Mu. Jean, I don't even want to say these, right? So that's, definitely feeling a little Asian there. And then was INDH. Again, in Hong Kong, right? So these stocks typically have good movements during periods of market instability, which we've seen last week and the week before. Whether or not they can continue since the market has seemingly turned around and we're already back to 670. Hong Kong, baby. We're going to challenge that downtrend, no problem today. I don't know if the Chinese plays will stick around, which makes them even more dangerous than they typically are, right? So just something that you'll see a lot of when the market is slowing down. I don't think it's healthy to get involved with unless you're an advanced trader. Sometimes I don't even like to do it. However, there is always the potential for massive runs within those Chinese stocks if you do get the right one and you hold on it and do get that algorithmic move on the buy side, which is nice, right? Very good. It's hard to dispute, a move from $1 up to $3. That's incredible, right? But it's the risks associated with it that are quite extensive. So not really much going on. So much. We're just kind of waiting to see whether or not this reversal can hold. Bitcoin's up to 87 from its low of 80, which is pretty impressive. Having that reversal signal here, and then maybe we're going to try to break through this buy-side liquidity on the 15-minute, and then obviously there's going to be some fresh buy orders up here above that. 1 hour reversal has set, but we don't have a key level breakout, right? So we're just kind of watching that, and let's see if we can reclaim that 90K on this market strength. And then the SPY, yeah, we already talked about this to start the video. Looking really, really strong. I would suspect a rejection around 671, but if we can break that, I would expect it around 682 if we are continuing the narrative of a market retracement, right? If this is going to continue to retrace and decline, those are our rejection levels. If we can break through them, then, hallelujah. Let's try to aim for all-time highs again and hit 700 for Christmas, right? Thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you all soon. And then, no, I've got something better. ONDS. Yes. So I was telling you guys this the other day, how it's combat robotics, and we have Operation South Spear from the United States military. This is up 30% today, 28%. So, your boy doing his best to get you in early. I said wait for volume, and today we have that volume hit right out of the gate. This is more volume you can see here than we typically have by a large margin. So that's pretty cool. We're going to have to wait and see how this obviously all unfolds moving forward, but it's a good start. And on the 1 hour, really looking good off of these dips, and the 1 day showing that it could potentially, charge back up to this all-time high, right? So definitely some room on this. Let's have to, see how it unfolds. But that's why we like to stay on the news, right? What's happening politically, right, with the macroeconomics, and then trying to line that up with a technical entry model as well. So ONDS performing really well, and I think could be a longer-term swing throughout, that Operation South Sphere, as today Venezuela's leader was classified as a terrorist or something crazy. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but it is the reality of things, and we can position ourselves to be profitable off such events, right? So adding this to our watch list and continuing to build that out. If you have any ideas, hit us up in the comments. Again, thank you all so much, and leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all soon in the next.